Hello friends, this is Rahul Magan here as the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP, and today we would be covering a dedicated video about ECB hedging, external commercial borrowing hedging. In this we are going to take it out to what exactly it is happening in the ECB and what are the different things which are happening in the ECB now. But remember that we are making two videos about ECB. In one of the videos about the ECB, we would be talking only about ECB. But in the second video, which would be coming after that, we would be talking ECB with OIS market, which is overnight index swap market. We would be talking ECB with OIS market, which is overnight index swaps market, right? Now, how we are going to do in that, what we are going to do in that, this is in which we assume that the counterparty is Reliance Industries Limited, the bank is Barclays PLC, the amount is $10 billion. The rate is LIBOR plus 125 basis point. This 125 basis point is nothing but the QSD, quality spread differential, which in banking terms is known as credit spread also or credit premium also. And tenure is 10 years. We understand that as far as the Indian regulations is concerned, an ECB cannot be done unless an Indian party is involved. So Indian party has involved. We never use the word Indian party. We will use a very technical word which is sub-account. Now what is this sub-account is, since we are talking about the Barclays PLC, I'll make a dramatical explanation about how external commercial borrowing is hedging. You have Barclays PLC in which actually the deal is done, a European bank, right? And he is going to refer $10 billion, which is the loan for funding, basically which we mentioned here, to his sub-account, which is Barclays India. Who would act as a sub-account in India and who would do all kind of transactions to Reserve Bank of India, all kind of reporting, regulatory reporting, ECB reporting, the forms which we need to fill, everything to be done by the Barclays India. Barclays India will dealt with Reliance Industries Limited because they need the $10 billion. So Reliance Industries Limited would have two counterparties in the books. One of the counterparty, which is Barclays PLC, with whom they are going to do the coupon only swap, and another is Barclays India, to whom they are going to do the principal only swap. Every ECB, now here again we would like to mention that we are covering ECB from the complete hedging perspective. So we are not keeping this open. So ECB would be divided into two parts. Number one is principal only swap, which is shortly known as POS also by a few of the bank. Now what is principal only swap is, Reliance Industries Limited will speak with Barclays India. And in this, what they are going to do, since the funding is coming in dollar, actual funding is coming in dollar, but the functional currency of Reliance, which is FC, is Indian rupee, but the funding coming is in dollar. So if this would happen, they are subject to one thing which is known as revaluation. Now revaluation risk would be on the head of Reliance Industries Limited, and in this revaluation risk, what it would happen that every month when Reliance will close the book, because all the big corporates, they close their book every month. So per year is 12 months, 10 year means 120 times. So 120 times they need to do the revaluation of this $10 billion. What is revaluation? Conversion of foreign currency into the local currency. So when Reliance will take up the money in Indian books, there would be a rate. That is at any spot rate they are taking the funding. And any spot rate they are taking the funding, and every month end rate would be different than this spot rate. Every month end rate would be different than earlier month end rate. So in this, what it would happen, this will create a revaluation risk in the books of Reliance Industries Limited, and that revaluation risk might be positive, it might be negative in nature. So how Reliance is going to capture this? Reliance will do a principal only swap with Barclays India. Now Barclays India will say, you tell me any POS rate, principal only swap rate, and that is a zero sum game. Since the board is small, so we cannot do all the computation, but POS funding rate is always zero sum in nature. All those people to whom we giving trainings in foreign exchange, from banks and other side, if they are watching this video, they know that Hawaii POS is a Zero sum game, we already explained that practically on Thomson Reuters and via Microsoft Excel. So they will say, assuming the rate is 66, they can even say 100 also. So $1 billion is 6,600 crores and $10 billion is roughly 66,000 crores. So Reliance Industries Limited will get a credit. I am referring here. Reliance Industries Limited will get a credit of 66,000 crores. After 10 years, which is this agreed period, they will return this 66,000 crores to the Barclays India. If the Indian rupee will go to 40, if Indian rupee will go to 50, or even if the Indian rupee will go to 90, or even if it will go to 100, that doesn't matter. They will only pay the 66 as a rate. As simple as that. But there is no free lunch we have in this world. For everything you need to pay. What they are going to pay, had they not did that, they would have bought forward contracts. There would be several ways they are buying the forward contract. One of the ways is a rolling forward contract. Every year they are going to take up the forward contract and they will roll over to another year. Then they will roll over to another year. One rollover they might have gained, one rollover they might have lost, because what is rollover? Cancellation plus fresh delivery. So one rollover they would have gained, one rollover they would have lost. So, or if they have booked for the complete 10 years, in that sense Reliance Industries Limited would going to pay a hefty premium, because if the 4-year premium is 13 rupees, I don't have a calculator right now with me, I need to go to Reuters and check, then the 10-year premiums would be more than 20. Is Reliance ready to pay more than 20? Not at all. Reliance is not ready to pay more than 20. So it is always advisable for Reliance to create a principal only swap. And in this principal only swap, what Reliance would be doing, Reliance would be paying after 10 years this 66,000 crores, and they would be paying up a rate, and that rate would be POS rate, and that rate would be the 1-year forward premium divided by POS rate. So 1-year forward premium is currently 300 paisa, and the rate which you are taking is 66. So tactfully speaking, you will end up roughly 4.7%, somewhere around 4.7%, which you need to pay every year. Reliance would be paying 66,000 crores into 4.7%, which is, if I take it force 5, then which is roughly 300 and any between I think it's close to 310 crores, with something they need to pay every year. That is the debit which they have every year on the P&L side. And that here they manage themselves, which is known as principal only swap. So if Indian rupee will go to 60, it will go to 70, it will go to 80, it will go to 90, or it will go to 30. Their liability is restricted is 66,000 crores. That is why this is practically known as principal only swap. Another thing which we have here, which is known as COS, coupon only swap. Now what is coupon only swap is, they are still exposed to one rate, and that rate actually is LIBOR plus 125 basis point. We understand that our LIBOR is inching up. In June, Federal Reserve has raised the rate. Now the Fed fund rate is 1.25%. There is a full guarantee that in September Fed will again raise the rate. And if Fed will again raise the rate, in that sense the cost of hedging would go higher. The LIBOR would go higher, and L is the floating element in that. So ultimately what we are doing in the coupon only swap is, this is the floating, and we need to convert this float into fix. How can we do that? So this is nothing but float to fix swap. In this float to fix swap, what they are going to be doing, they are going to be neutralize the L. They are going to be neutralizing the L, and in doing neutralizing the L, Reliance would continue to pay L plus 125 to bank every year, and bank will pay L to Reliance. Ultimately LL cancelled and they would have neutralized the L. That neutralize ends up 1.25%. But we need to understand that this is nothing but the QSD. We need to understand that banks are not charitable institutions. They are not at all charitable institutions, and they should not be charitable institutions. Especially if you are talking about a British bank like Barclays and all, they are not at all charitable institution. In that sense, what it would happen? Bank will say, I am neutralizing your L, but you need to pay me a cost. And the cost of that neutralization would be USD swaps. Is shortly known as USD IRS. Reliance is going to take up the 10-year IRS completely, which is bullet. Current 10-year IRS in USD is roughly 2.4%. So the net rate would be Reliance would be roughly 2.4% plus 1.25%, which is equals to 3.65%. Now they have hedged both ways. If Indian rupee will go up, they are subject to only 4.7% into 66,000 crore, roughly 310 crore. If LIBOR will go, today 1 year LIBOR is 1.77%, it might go to anywhere. If LIBOR will go to anywhere, they are only scheduled to pay 3.65%, nothing else they need to pay after that. What is the full cost of hedging? Full cost of hedging is equals to 4.7% plus, I'm not writing 3.65, I'm writing something different, is 2.4% plus 1.25%, which is QSD. So this is 7.1% plus 1.25%. So full cost of hedging is roughly 8.3%. And if we carefully see, the 10-year MIFOR, Mumbai Interbank Forward Offer Rate, 10-year MIFOR, sitting today, I'm writing here, 10-year MIFOR, Mumbai Interbank Forward Offer Rate is currently trading at 6.6%. Because MIFOR do not take USD into consideration. This is 6.6%, which is 10-year MIFOR which we have. Since 10-year MIFOR is 6.6% and we end up 7.1%, because QSD is a different thing. We end up 7.1%. In this, what it would happen, that Reliance is almost going good. And this is how the external commercial borrowing is to be hedged. And now it is completely hedged. But the most unfortunate fact is that we have majority of the companies in India whereby whereby practically speaking not all the ECBs are completely hedged. We have many oilers. Oiler stands for Oil Corporation, which are not practically hedged. Now in this, what it would happen, they are not only exposed to POS, but they are exposed to COA also, which will end up having negative mark to market in their books. So if you are having external commercial borrowing, so you should hedge it completely, which is principal only swap plus coupon only swap. How the settlement would be happen? After 10 years, principal only swap, Reliance will give 66,000 crores to Barclays, their POS will get settled, and after 10 years the COS will automatically get settled. They are sure about that 2.4 plus 1.25. This is QSD. This is something which nobody can control that. Even Reuters, Bloomberg, nobody can control that. This is how exactly the ECB hedging should be done. In the next videos, we talked about how Reliance is going one level higher, and they are hedging this via, they are taking ECB and they are hedging this 66,000 crore also. This figure. In case you have any queries, my website is www.treasuryconsulting.in. My mobile number is 9899242978. My Skype is Rahul5327. My email ID is rahul.magan@treasuryconsulting.in. You understand that we have our foreign exchange desk in place. In case you need any requirement pertaining to ECB, you are most welcome to contact with me. Thank you and have a wonderful time ahead.